Alright, it's iCast, your freaking awesome replays time. Today it is ICYFAR, guys. We are going to be diving straight on into game to look at some feinting attacks. Those sort of games where you attack from the right, you attack from the left, and then you surprise them right down the middle. Of course, let's announce next week's topic before we get too deep today. It is going to be protecting the ozone layer. So, you're only allowed to take one gas in each base. There's just been too many Vespene emissions out in the Caprillo sector. More and more planets are being made either unlivable or people are forced to live in biodomes and shit. It's just not a good place. So yeah, generally we're just going to try and be using that as the new challenge, guys. You have to play with just one gas for the next week per base. Cutting down the emissions by 50% should do a lot to meet our long-term goals of swapping over completely to renewable mineral energy. Yeah. Send in your replays for that. The information is, of course, as always, down below in the comments section of the video and right there in Twitch chat as well. So thank you so much for hanging out, dudes. Gonna be having a bit of fun. Oh wow, In Control already hosted us? Why, thank you. Had no idea. Oh my. That's a very early in the morning host. Thanks, In Control. Let's take a look. Wow, because I literally just started streaming. Okay, I don't know. I didn't see the alert for that, but all right, we'll accept it. Let's introduce these players. Let's get right down on into it, guys. So this is the Feinting Attacks Daily. Of course, the Vespene emissions stuff will be next week. For now, spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player. It is Necrobios from clan Mickey. Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. And he's going to be facing off against, down here in the bottom left-hand side, our Blue Zerg player. It is Bulya. Got the cute carbot there. No clan for Bulya. Bit of a lone wolf here. But makes up for it by having Zerglings that always run around in pairs. Two Zerglings going to be sneaky. They're going to try and sneak around the map. Oh, did Necrobius scout? Oh, Necrobius didn't scout. Look at these Zerglings. They're going to dodge that Reaper for show. Oh, sneaky Zerglings. This Reaper's gonna have a sad day. Or more, I guess more accurately, this SCV is gonna have a bad day. You're just there drilling in some like nuts and bolts into this giant fat command center. For some reason, your entire crew are just picking up blue crystals inside the main base rather than actually helping you. And then bam, a couple of very, very hungry puppy dogs come out of nowhere and just start nibbling on your ass. Ow, that sucks. What a way to go. SCV goes down. Same time, the Reaper was shooed out of the base by the Queen. She said, get away from my kids, dickhead. And so he did. Now, in the main base here for Necrobius, what do we got? It looks like a 2-1-1 build. Ooh, second barracks. So going to be lots of Marines coming out on the way here. Going to have to repair that. That is pretty much the carbot animation. They're just licking the depot hungrily. Marines will come out, but Necrobius is so afraid here, even just seeing two Zerglings. Did he spot the roach warren? No, he didn't, but he is building a bunker. Has spotted these roaches coming across the map. There looks like just a 3-roach pressure. Oh, the drone's going to try and get the third. Is Bully going to get it? Is he going to get it? The Reaper's trying to stop, and the drone gets it. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, there is still a Zergling down here being annoying, delaying that command center even more. And these roaches are almost on top of this base already. Bulya just going for the throat here right from the start with some really nice opening pressures. One roach did get left behind. Don't know what he was doing back there. It looks like Bulya here. Couple of roaches going to come in. And these Marines caught on the low ground. One of them goes down. Bulya. Just, oh, this SCV is going to run for it. Oh, he makes it. And then he decides to just stop. What an idiot. What an idiot. Cyclone is on the way. More Marines. We've got Stim. We've got that starport as well. So already, I think Bulya's build here really paying off, doing a bit of damage to this command center and just being as annoying as possible. Necrobius still has a Reaper over here, but hasn't really been able to do any damage with that. And behind this, Bulya is just droning on up, building lots of queens, spreading creep all over between the bases. The Marines and Cyclone are going to come out to try and combat these roaches. The roach is going to take out a couple of Marines with them before they go. 3 Marines will go down, but that's a good trade for 3 roaches. Necrobius finally reasserts control over the natural, but is a little bit paranoid, putting down more bunkers and very afraid. Of course, guys, remember today's topic is feinting attacks, feinting tactics. So far, we haven't seen too much of that, except for, I guess even that opening is kind of like a feint in that, like, you distract them with the Zergling, right? Like the two Zerglings pull the Reaper home usually. In this case, the Reaper didn't come home, but normally they do that. And then your Roaches sneak across the map. But the Reaper actually stayed over there and spotted like the main thrust, the Roaches. So Necrobius was decently well prepared for that. But there's many more opportunities for feinting attacks, multi-prong, and all sorts of craziness as we progress through this series. So it should be bloody entertaining to see where this goes. Double spores going down all over the place. Double upgrades as well. Bullia, ooh. Wants those juicy, well upgraded Zerglings. And Ling Speed as well. So going to be swapping back into Zerglings. Not going to be sticking with that Roach tech. This Reaper's going to come in. He's going to be like, how greedy have you been? Sees some Zerglings and gets on out of there. This Reaper, I don't know how he's still alive right now. I don't think it's going to be for very long. Oh, the Zergling's right there. What are you doing? Oh my god. Can they see him? So a Reaper, guys, can see further than Zergling. They've got better quality goggles or eyes or something like that. I mean, Reapers do have, like, pretty sure they're wearing goggles, right? They've got, like, some sort of, like, suit on. Actually, the Reapers... Yeah, they've got, like, that weird gas mask thing. Anyway, I never knew that, but apparently Reapers can shoot further than... see further than Zerglings. We've got a Raven coming across the map now. Necrobius is just gonna try and pop down some auto turrets, but, oh, Bully is pretty well prepared. He's got to be careful not fly that auto turret into its death. Oh, the Reaper is finally going to go down. Raven goes in. Nice auto turret on the edge there. Is focusing down the high energy Queen. Does get it. Not bad. It's not a bad start there. Taking down a Queen, always going to be helpful. Back at home, Necrobius does have stim. It's up to 5 barracks production here on 2 base. No third command center. And I don't think there's any upgrades yet either. So no engineering base, no third command center. So Necrobius can do like a sick 2-base marine tank push, but isn't really going to have much late game as Lair's already done and 1-1 is almost finished. So if Bullia can get 2-2 upgrades, like his units are just going to be like 40% more effective. It's going to be ridiculous. And with a Hydroden on the way as well, that's going to be pretty sick. I would love to see some Lurker drops. I'd love to see some Hydras running around the map. Hydraling Bane is such a cool composition. It's a lot of fun. Bullia's got some pretty sick map control. Hey, look at this. Look at this map vision. Sees everything. Well done, Bullia. Bullia may be someone I've coached in the past. I may be getting a little bit of a coach boner right now. Whenever I see someone I've coached who's got the map covered with this much vision, get a bit excited. Like, whoa. Oh, Raven is 1 hit from dying. No. It gets out of there for now, but no. This is making me so uncomfortable. He's got to stay there to kill the creep tumor. Is he going to get the Overlord? Yes, he is. Meanwhile, these 2 medevacs not going to do anything. And oh my god, the creep tumor survived with 3 hit points. The Raven, the auto turret ran out. So Necrobius is starting to drop here, going for a 3rd command center right in the back of the base, but still no engineering base. So Necrobius, I think, has got to get some damage done soon. We've got 1-2 upgrades on the way for Bullia. Bullia is way up on workers, but is down in the army supply just a little bit right now. So this is going to be a very scary push. Now we've got that 1-1 on the way for Necrobius. We've got the 3rd command center. All that stuff is coming down. Mickey, you're so fine. I don't know if Necrobius can do it. I mean, it all comes down to Bullia on the creep, right? Bullia on the creep. What can you do? Not seeing too many feinting attacks right now. I'm pretty sure Bullia is the only one playing the challenge, not Necrobius. So, oh, Siege Tank does get a nice little shot off there, doing a good bit of splash damage. There's some queens here with plenty of transfuse. Good pullback from Bullia. There's no need to fight, but since he goes out in front of, away from the siege tanks, the Lingbane Hydra comes on in there, gets some pretty decent connections, takes out the vast majority of the Marines and Marauders. But now that the Hydras are exposed, they're very fragile. They will be going down. Of course, they do have that 10 hit point buff in the last couple of months of StarCraft 2, and it looks like they just barely will be enough to overwhelm this push, and that's massive. Because now, defending this, Bullia can respread creep, has got the double upgrades on the way. And 1-1. Still only about 2/3 of the way done for Necrobius. So Necrobius here kind of really losing the valuable units, the tanks, some medevacs. Actually, most of the medevacs are still alive, but a lot of the Marines, Marauders, and Siege tanks all went down there. And Lurker Den and Infestation Pit are on the way. All right, Booyah is looking good. Big shout out, by the way, to Philip Rich for the host just then. Thank you, Philip Rich. Spreading those Twitch viewer majogos around. Sharing the wealth. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Welcome, guys, who've hopped over from that stream. Looks like, yeah, I mean, Necrobius is going to set up for a bit of a macro game here. Things are going to progress. So I don't know if I ever finished telling you guys the wood chopping story the day before yesterday, but did you guys know there's wood chopping championships? And there's one where they have like an upright log, and they have to chop the very top of the log off, but obviously like they can't reach it, right? Because it's like a tree-sized log. So they have to like chop slits into the log, and then they need to like shove a plank of wood into the slit so they can climb up and stand on that. And then they do that like 3 times to get to the top of the log, and they chop it off. This is what my weekend was. It was so exciting. I got to watch these big fucking burly like 1960s style men just chopping wood. It was pretty amazing. I was very impressed. If anyone ever makes fun of you for like watching or playing StarCraft competitively, just go and show them videos on YouTube of men chopping wood. You'll be like, people fucking travel the world to chop pieces of wood, mate. StarCraft is awesome. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So just preparing you guys in case people hating on your hobbies. Always remind them chopping wood is a thing. It was actually pretty impressive as well. It was pretty cool. Both players in a bit of a standoff. I'm waiting for the big feinting attack, and I think lurkers will be perfect for it. One of the big things I suggested for this week's topic was big empty fake drops. Just send like 10 empty dropships into the main or something like that. Yeah, get the fuck out of there. Oh man, it's always so funny when a Zerg player with lurkers has had enough, and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to outposition you, I'm just going to fucking run on top of your army and burrow on top of it, and you're just like, oh shit. You either gun down all the lurkers incredibly quickly, or you get the fuck out of there. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, looks like we're going to start to see some drops hitting multiple areas. So it looks like that'll be sort of the faint bit of a distracting attack to hit the main base to pull them out of position. And then the main army can hit the third, or if this is hits a bit later, maybe even the 4th base if there's one of those up by then. Hydra's starting to get some damage down on these medevacs. These medevacs being annoying, they're cleaning up creep, but other than that, Necrobius is so totaled up, and I think that's a good decision. Necrobius realized my upgrades are way behind. I got to get that 2-2. I've got to get more siege tanks up, and now does have a pretty good army up. Tanks get a couple of shots off there. What does he have in the main, though? You see this army, it's preparing to hit the front, but it's actually a distraction. Look at this. So he's keeping the army here. Necrobius is so focused on the front, he's kind of freaking out, and then drop in the back. Lurkers and Hydras gonna start tearing apart the back of the main. At the same time, Necrobius counter drops the northern base. This game is about to get very messy. The armory goes down almost instantly. The upgrades are so exposed. Oh, if those upgrades go down, that's gonna be huge. It looks like the bio up here might be able to get the hatch if he focus fires, but oh my god, the Zerg might just barely get back in time. He's gonna have to pick up and get on out of there. Meanwhile, Lurkers are sieged on the production. He hasn't focused down the engineering base, and it looks like the bio is going to come back to fight this, but the Lurkers are going to do great damage against that. Lurkers are so buff with their 200 hit points, and yeah, the bio is just getting torn apart right now. Really needed to bring siege tanks back, but Necrobius is just strained in so many areas right now, and it turns out that main army at the front was the feint. This attack in the back was like the elite hit squad of Doom, which has just destroyed almost all of Necrobius's production. And Booyah here with a fantastic maneuver. Necrobius, man, those Marines are, they are angrier than a meth head who doesn't have any meth. My fucking metaphors are on point today, aren't they? Jesus Christ. A meth head that doesn't have meth. That's poetry, that is. Yeah, I should write a book. I should definitely write a book. Hydras and Lingbane coming in from over here. Lurkers burrowing just out front of the barracks. There's only one siege tank sieged up. All the Marines and Marauders getting choked up, and a beautiful Hydraless concave. These Hydras is spitting out needles better than a Coke addict. Fuck, Coke, you don't fucking use needles for Coke? Man, all my drug metaphors are off today. I've got to use more drugs. You guys need to like tell me about how the drugs work or something so I can make the jokes. For now, Booyah is just going to come on in with these Hydras. He's going to overwhelm everything. The Marines and Marauders are getting wrecked. Necrobius is still running around desperately with that single Marauder up there in the drop. He's getting destroyed. And that's going to be that. G to the G. So that game kind of petered out a little bit there. That was a good one, though. Thank you very much, Bullia, for sending that in. I love to see some lurker drops. Even Solar was doing lurker drops recently. Shout out to Railgan for inventing this recently and like really trying to popularize it. A lot of us tried to use lurkers in the early days of StarCraft Legacy, and we were like, yeah, let's use lurkers versus Terran. And then we realized like how hard it was to actually do that when we were still getting used to like how the macro of the game worked. So we very quickly were like, this is too hard. Let's just go back to Lingbane Muter or something like that. We could actually control the game with a bit easier. Anyway, guys, let's hop into game number 2. Spawning down here in the bottom left